Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the talk, How to Find the Decisive Moment in Street Photography, that Professor Pierre Poulin is presenting in a few minutes. My name is Jordi, and I will be with you and the speaker this afternoon. This talk is part of the activities of Universitas General Studies, an online course platform dedicated to education in various fields. It has 8 areas of study in topics such as health, economy, art, or communication as today's talk. At Universitas, we want to bring knowledge closer to everyone. This is why the courses we offer are very diversified and on very interesting topics as conflict management, young psychology, sacred architecture, and the economy in the third millennium, among others. All of them are taught by specialized teachers with solid ethical background, or our hallmark at Universitas, seeking knowledge that transform us and make us better. Universitas is a project endorsed by the international organization New Acropolis. If you wish, you can get more information on our website, www.universitas-eg.org. Today's activity is a small sample of a more comprehensive and in-depth course called Aesthetics Applied to Street Photography. The goal is to learn a little more about this topic, and if you are interested in it or want to know it better, then at the end of the activity, we will give you a gift to enjoy the whole course. So stay connected until the end to get the present. I assure you that it will be worth it. So without further ado, let's welcome today's lecturer and professor who will give the talk. Pierre Poulin is a professional street photographer, lecturer, and author of several books, including Photosophy, a field that links photography and philosophy. Pierre has participated in dozens of individual and collective exhibitions in many countries, such as Austria, India, France, Israel, Canada, Ecuador, and Japan. He is also a member of the Salon d'Automne, the oldest contemporary art fair in the world. You can learn more about Pierre's work on his website, www.photos-art.org. So let's welcome Pierre.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Thank you for being here and giving us this lecture on how to find the decisive moment in street photography. Of course, when one likes to click on everyday scenes, one should know the exact moment to press the button, and that is art.
Yes, that's what we're trying to do.
Before we begin, I want to remind you that this talk is original. It is a small sample of the course that we are launching at the end of the conference, and in which you will be able to enroll. We have an excellent opportunity to learn from Pierre, who is a lover of photography and also has a profound and philosophical vision of photography. Also, you can write questions in the chat if you have any. Pierre answers them at the end of the lecture, provided we have enough time. Now, let's discover how to find the decisive moment in street photography. Pierre, if you want.
Thanks, Jordi. So, hello to everyone. As you can hear from my language, English is not my mother tongue language, but just like Jordi, you know, if you understood Jordi, you will understand, we shall understand each other, so it's not a problem. So, the topic today, indeed, is how to encounter the decisive moment in street photography. And first thing, we have to define quickly what is street photography. I mean, there is a many different kind of photography, and street photography is not news photography, going in the street for events. It's not war photography, war reporter, something else. Because news, events, war, you are going in the street with the camera and you want to capture the event. You are in the search for an event. But that is not street photography. Street photography is something much more artistic oriented and much less event oriented. I mean, you have to search for the moment, but not necessarily for the event, because an artistic moment when something tension occurs, it's not necessarily something which occurs in an event. You can find this at the corner of the street where you're living. It's a kind of mix of light, of obscurity, of contrast, of shape, of geometry. So different things. So the goal of this very short lecture is to offer some advices to how to find this decisive moment. There is a French photographer, a famous photographer, which is Henri Cartier-Bresson, which was named the eye, of the 20th century. He was famous because he talked about this decisive moment, geometry, but also decisive moment. So we shall give also some examples, maybe some advices related to the decisive moment, and maybe well, the goal is to give a kind of flavor of what the course will be, because there is obviously a course, an optional course after the charla, the conference, the lecture. So let's go on. First thing first, street photography. To find the decisive moment, you need to be able to see behind the appearance, behind the visible. You need to capture something which is not something that obviously the physical eyes will capture, will see. The same Henri Cartier-Bresson said that to look and to see is not to identify, it is to penetrate, to go inside. So let's see one photo. I will explain something. This is, for example, one photography from Cartier-Bresson. It's called Simian, and there is a little story, a nice story about this photography, because he was living. It's in the south of France, a little village called Simian, and he was walking out of his house with a friend, and the friend says that they were passing along this place, and the friend does not remember. He does not remember that Cartier-Bresson stopped for a moment, stopped to talk with him, and took the photo. No, he was just walking, and during the walk, he paid attention to the scene, to what occurs here, continued to talk with his friend, took the camera, and took the photo, took the shot, and continues. So it is something that you have to work with the intuition. You have to work with something which is not just the mental process to recognize what happened, to identify what happened. It's something much more, say, deeper than this. So you have to see with the internal eyes. What does it mean? You have to work with intuition. And intuition is a kind of relation between the physical, biological eyes, so the light, because the eyes capture the light, okay, from the visible world, and the consciousness. Consciousness is light, but it's another kind of consciousness. It's not a mental consciousness. It's not the consciousness of understanding something. It is the consciousness of being able to capture with intuition that there is a tension in the light. There is a shape, a special geometry. There is something that worth taking the shot. So you have to perceive, I will say, the balance, but you have to perceive this balance in a fraction of seconds, because you don't have time. It's going quickly. It may change. It's a relation between shapes and volumes. Look at this one. This is a photo, not from Cartier-Bresson. This is one of my photography. I took this one in München, in Germany, and I called it Vanishing into Infinity. So it's like a reflection, I am in the street, and there is this woman cleaning the, how do you say it, the shop, and there is this symbol, like the symbol of the infinite, the symbol of the spiral of Moebius. So it's like you don't know what belongs to the reality, what belongs to the street, what belongs to the shop, what is real and what is an illusion. So it's kind of a mix between those two words, and this is a moment of balance. So between light and shadow, between shapes, between obscurity and geometry. And those things usually will define what we can call a decisive moment. So another example to define the decisive moment, and maybe it is the archetype of the decisive moment. It's a very famous photo from Henri Cartier-Bresson. This one. It's he took this one, if I'm not wrong, in 1932. So a long time ago, and it's in Paris. It's called Place de l'Europe. Okay, the name of the photo. And what can you see here? You see one guy which is jumping, and he's in the air, and he's not touching the water because there's some water, reflection of water in the ground. And it was really a decisive moment, because a fraction of a second after, it's too late. The guy is already in the water, and a fraction of a second before, the guy does not jump. So it's before the jump. So it is very, 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 very the moment, you know. How could Cartier-Bresson take this photo? You don't have the time to recognize. You must work with intuition. In reality, there is something else. There is another thing that you need to be able to capture the photo. I will explain this in the course, okay? But I will give you something. I will give you it's related to luck, because Cartier-Bresson said, in a moment, everything is about luck. But a photographer has to learn how to be lucky. So this we shall develop it in the course later, okay? So returning to the decisive moment, the goal is to perceive the harmony. And then we can say something. We can say that you have a difference between a good photographer, maybe, a great photographer, and a master, which will be an artist, the artist, you know, the master of photography. So a good photographer, what is it? A good photographer is somebody who will be able to recognize the moment of balance, the moment of equilibrium, a second later. I mean, you have the moment, you recognize this, and clack, you take the photo. And between the moment when it occurs and you take the photo, you have a fraction of seconds. Now, this is the good photographer. But you have also the great photographer. What is the difference? The great photographer is the one who will perceive and take the shot at the very moment of its manifestation. So you don't have delay. It occurs and clack, you took the photo. Something is there, you're with the camera, clack, you take the shot. At the same moment, that's a great photographer. But you have the master photography. So what is the difference? What can be more than taking the shot at the very moment when it occurs? Well, the master photography, the artist, the real artist, is the one who is able to anticipate the moment and will prepare himself to receive the decisive moment before the moment occurs. How can it be? Because it didn't occur yet. Oh, that's the thing. That's a kind of mystical, spiritual thing, you know, or philosophical, let's say. You have to have this intuition that you know that you feel the tension, the change in the light, in the darkness, in the shape, in the geometry, and you feel that something will occur because you have this change of tension. So you prepare yourself, you take the camera, and tack, you take it at the very moment it occurs, but you are already ready. You're ready. You prepare yourself to receive it. So to do this, to achieve this path from good photographer to great photographer to artist master photography, you need to be able not to identify. I would say to even to dare not to identify, to dare not to recognize. So you have to take your mind, and to put it aside at the moment when you are in the street with your camera. Put aside the mental process, not to identify, not to compare, because if you try to identify, you know, you see something. Does it worse? Does it not worse? Shall I take the shot? I will not take the shot. And even if you're thinking quickly, time is passing and it's gone. And when you decide to take the photo, it's already gone. So you can't. So you don't have time. It demands the mental process, demands times that we don't have. Look at this one. This one, I took it in South Korea, in Seoul. I called it Modern Times. What is it? It's in a shop, and you have two guys entering the shop, and they're going to prepare, the shop, to put some item in the shop for people in the street to see them, to be attracted by the shop. And one is walking, one is running, but you don't see their face, because at the moment I took the shot, those papers, which was such also in movement, they're turning, are just hiding their face. So it's like modern time. You're running all the time, but we cannot see our faces. We are losing our faces because we are running and running and running and running, and we don't have the time to live. It's especially right in cultures like South Korean cultures, and in the city of Seoul. There is all the cities in Korea, which is not exactly the same. Anyway, you don't have time. So if I was asking myself, does it worse? The guy was moving a fraction of a second, and the paper was not exactly hiding his face. So something was attracting me, and I take the photo, and after this, you are looking and you recognize. So the mind, in reality, is like a veil upon the perception of the equilibrium, and we have to put the veil aside. So when we are too conscious in reality of the appearance of things, we pay less attention to what lies behind the appearance. And it is what lies behind the appearance what matters, not the mask, which is behind the mask. So we need to be ready to perceive the unpredictable, the power of this intuition, decisive moment. Look at this one. This one is in India, in Mumbai. Okay, I took this one in Mumbai, in India. And what do you have? It's also one moment. I am in this place. It's a very narrow street, and you have those three children at the end, not the first one. Those three at the end, they wanted me to take the photo. So I prepared to take, but I was not interested to take the photo of those three. I wanted to take the photo of the little guy, which is in the front. And at the moment when I took the photo, there is this guy coming from the left, which is, I don't know, maybe his father, maybe his brother, maybe an uncle, I have no idea, a friend of the family. And he thought that this little guy is between me and those three, and I want to take the shot of the three. So he's coming to take the guy with the hand out of the scene. And this little guy is looking not at me. He's looking at one of my friends, which is beside me, with big camera, big lens, 300 millimeter, and he's looking like this to this big. So there is a mix of everything. The three at the end was looking at me, thinking that I took them in photo. The little one, which is looking as my friend. The friend of the family, which is taking him by the hand. And a fraction of a second after, there is no pictures because the little guy is not there. He went away. So it is that intuition to now have to take the photo. You cannot wait. You cannot stop life. Life is always in movement. You don't have time. So it's like Cartier-Bresson. Again, Cartier-Bresson said, the thought, when you think, the thought has to come before or after, but never at the exact moment of taking a photograph. Look at this one in Rome. This girl is running, and in a very specific moment, she's passing in the middle of the square of light in Roma. So you have to take the photo at the exact moment, not before and not after, because you cannot, you're losing it. So subjectivity blind us in a way to reality, So you have not to look also. Another tip, you have not to look for an achievement when you are in the street and you want to take the great photo. Don't look for achievement. Don't search for a result. Of course, don't discard it. Don't reject it. If you have good results, you won't reject it. But don't look for it. The action is more important than the result, the right action. You have a book like the Bhagavad Gita in India, which says that the right action is all what matters. So the result is a consequence of the right action. It will appear or it will not appear, but it does not matter. What matters is to be in the street with the right mind, the right mentality, the right intuition, the right state of mind, I will say. So Cartier-Bresson, the same, said, you don't have to have a goal. You don't have to want anything. And another great photographer of the 20th century, also one photographer that we shall study during the course, which is André Kertész, a photographer from Hungary, said, the great photograph is offered to us when we have given the hope of finding it. Wow. The great photograph is offered, like a gift, when we have give up any hope to receive. Look, this one. This one I took in Israel in the city of Akko, Saint Jean d'Acre. Saint John of Acre, something like this in English. Okay. So it's I was walking in Akko in the old city of Akko during the day, with the camera looking in the market, and I didn't find anything. Sometimes you're walking and you don't find. So okay, I didn't find. I gave up. Any hope today I will not take pictures. And I went on the port and I was looking at the sea, and suddenly you have this guy who was jumping from the wall of Akko into the sea. It's not Photoshop, it's the reality. He's not falling in the stone where the other guy is standing. He's falling 2 meters after where you have depth, so no problem. But I was not looking for this. It was offered to me, reality. So I call this sometimes you have to dare. Sometimes we need to dare, because obviously this guy is daring jumping in the sea. So the right action, again, is more important than the results. And look at this one. This one is also in India. To have or not to have. It's very interesting. It was also 1 second, I didn't know what I will find. You have those two guys in the shop in the flowers market. It is in Bangalore, in the south, more in the center south of India. And on the right, you have a guy who apparently he has a lot. He has a lot of flowers. He has a lot of things to sell. He also has money, in his hand. He's counting money. And on the left, you have a guy who is apparently has nothing, everything is empty. He doesn't have money. Also, the light is off. On the right, the light is on, but this is below. I mean, this is in the maybe visible or materialistic realm of the reality. Because if you are looking upstairs, if you are looking on the wall, on the right, he has also only invoices and bills on the wall. But on the left, he has all, on the left is here. On the left, he has all the icon and the image and of the gods. So you have a lot of materialistic, for one, and no material things. But upstairs is the difference. You have a lot of spirituality and mystic, maybe, and no spirituality and mystic. So it's like a cross, and it's a photo that I was not looking for it. I was just walking, took 1 second, and in reality there was 2 photos. I took the second one 1 second after. It's not this one. This one is the first one. Why? The second one is not good. Why? Because the second one, the guy which is counting the money saw me and put the money in his pocket. So the second one is different. It's not the same tension. It's not the same thing. They're also looking at me. So it's different. So you need to expect in reality nothing, never to expect anything. Having a fantasy vision is a veil that prevents us in reality from seeing the reality, which is always under the veil, behind the veil, the veil. So again, subjectivity, like I said before, blinds us to reality. And the last thing I want to say is that I put a chronometer because they told me that I have to speak not more than half an hour, and if I don't put a chronometer, I can give you all the course now. So I will follow the orders I receive also. So, last thing, you can't force yourself, you can't force an encounter with a great photography. You cannot force it. It will arrive or not, but you cannot force it. So, to achieve the result, you have to prepare yourself and to be in the right conditions. What does it mean to be in the right conditions? First, you need to have no anxiety at all to achieve a result. Again, I know that I said it already, but it's so important. If you want, you will not get it. If you don't want, you will find it. It's like, I don't know, a law of Murphy or something like this, but it works. If you're so anxious to get the result, you never will find it. So don't want it. Be in harmony, be in balance, take your camera, walk the street, be happy. Anyway, be happy at the beginning. You take a photo, continue to be happy. You don't get a photo, continue also to be happy. That's what matters. You need also to have patience. Patience. If not to now, in next hour. If not next hour, in the afternoon. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, after tomorrow. If not this week, next weeks. If not this incarnation, next incarnation. I don't know. But have patience. Patience. Respect also the rhythm of time and the rhythm of all the ephemeral moments that you will find in life, in the street, because everything has its rhythm, has its moments. And maybe the most important, learn to see what lies behind the visible. Look at this photo. This is, I took this one in Paris, in the pyramid, so-called pyramid of the Louvre, the museum of the Louvre. So it is inside the pyramid. And what you can see is that like the wall of the pyramid. But on the left, you can see one guy, which is in reality one of the guardians of the museum in the Louvre. But it does not appear like a guardian because you have the plexiglass, which changes and make the reflection and his body and his face is in the shadow. So I call this the angel of the pyramid. It seems like an angel. It seems like something from another world. I don't know. And it's something that we can see beyond the visible because there is another tension. It's not the reality. It's what the photography will translate the reality in something else, in something which is linked to, not to fantasy, but to imagination. It allows us to see something which was maybe always here, but we didn't see it because we didn't allow ourselves maybe to look at it, to see it how it is. So, and there is also a great secret, but the great secret I will not tell it, because if I tell you now the great secret, you will not register to the course. So the great secret will be, I shall unveil it in the course. So because there is a course after, I will not talk a lot now about the course. I will give back to Jordi to talk about it. But there is a full course which will be presented by Jordi. And what I can say only that this talk, this very short talk that we have now, we just had, and it's no more than a flavor, it's no more than an aperitif, because there is so much to say about photography, street photography, art, beauty, harmony, how to manifest the archetypes in the daily life, and how to be able with a camera to express yourself and to become an artist and to feel this art inside yourself. We all have kind of latent power. And when I'm talking about latent power, I'm not talking about superheroes, like DC Comics of Marvel or something like this. No. I'm talking about to be an artist, to work with beauty, to work with intuition, to find the decisive moment, to find our space, our place in time and in space. No, to find our place in time and space. Oh, English. So it is, in fact, to find meaning in life. I think that when we evolve this kind of artistic need of beauty, of truth, of harmony, of justice, of good, because everything is linked, okay? Inside ourselves, we find meaning in life. It's linked also to full philosophy because it's linked to know yourself. So when we find a meaning, what happened? We are happy. We have a meaning in life. We know why we are living and what for, and what do you want more than this. So if photography allow us to approach this, that's it, and we are done. So that's what I wanted to tell you. So Jordi, now please, I give you back to continue with question. If there is question, I don't know. I look at the camera, I didn't look the shot. So it's up to you now.
Okay, thank you very much, Pierre, for offering
You're
your vision
welcome.
and this art of capturing and eternalizing these moments. Um, well, let's see if we have any question. Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're welcome. Take your
I'm
time.
okay. Thank you very much, Pierre. I have a question for you. You
Yeah.
talked about the decisive moment to take the picture.
Mhm.
Um, this is luck, intuition, uh, but can we learn on
Can we
how
learn?
not learn so from yeah learn and to know how to get the knowledge so one is born with intuition or with luck, but is there a way for us to get this capacity of finding the decisive moment for taking the pictures?
I really think that it's not some people that have this capacity and other people does not. I really think that it is, like I said, it's a, latent power. I mean, it's in the genetic, the gene of every human being. We have this capacity of intuition, but we don't. All of us, we don't exercise it, and so we think maybe we don't have it. We have to exercise our latent powers to awake them, and to strengthen them. It's like an athlete, physical. If you don't make exercise, athletic exercise, for example, you will not be a champion of the world in athletics. So, but if you begin to exercise yourself, you will evolve some capacity, some physical muscles. Okay, so we have some intuitive muscles, we have some spiritual muscles, we have some mental muscles, and we can exercise our capacity to see, to look, to dare, to have intuition. So just go in the street and make the exercise. Go with your camera and begin to look for it, to try, and you walk and you walk and you walk. And I remember, myself, the first years I was with the camera, I only took things that I saw, and sometimes I said, "Oh, I missed this. Oh, I didn't see this. Oh, I didn't have to do intuition." But one more year and one more year and one more year, and more you exercise yourself and you experiment, you will begin to awake this capacity and to build a relation between your consciousness and your own intuition. And in a moment, something will change, and you will begin to use it more and more and more and more. So it's like everything. We have to exercise and to awake it. But I have 100%, I believe 100% that it's in the ability of every human being. I saw this, I'm teaching photography and I'm teaching philosophy since 40 years. And I saw people that didn't have any ideas of photography, that were shy, that didn't want to go in the street, that didn't know, and now they're great photographers. So it's a matter of experimenting, doing and doing and doing it.
Okay, thank you very much. There are some questions. Oleg Misiak is asking us, It's asking you if you have any
It's okay.
favorite photographer in addition to Cartier-Bresson.
If what to Cartier-Bresson? Sorry.
Yeah, if you have any other favorite photographer.
Oh, I have a lot of favorite photographers. I'm talking about Cartier-Bresson today, and I quote also Cortez, I think once, because I'm talking. The topic today is about the decisive moment, and Cartier-Bresson was is known as the master of the decisive moment. So that's why I talk about Cartier-Bresson, and I show some pictures about photo from Cartier-Bresson. But you have a lot of photographers. In the course, we shall see 4 photographers specifically. We shall have one full session on Cartier-Bresson, another one about Cortez, André Cortez, which is more about humility. He's talking about photography and humility. And we have also Kudelka, Josef Kudelka from Czech Republic, when we shall learn from him about maybe to be rebels, in the street, to go against the stream, something like this. And we shall talk about full session about Elliot Erwitt from USA, and from him we shall learn about humor and photography. But you have a lot more, and we shall talk about many more, and not just in Europe. Steinlitz and a lot of street photographers from or straight photography from the US, from America, and many old or ancient photographers like Adjet, and we shall talk about Dadaism, and we shall talk about the Surrealism, and there's a lot. And there is a lot to come also. There is a lot of photographers that we don't know. I don't know. We shall talk about Sebastião Salgado in Brazil. A lot.
And maybe one of the students who is going to enroll to the course is going to be a great photographer.
I hope that more than one.
More than one.
Yeah.
Okay. We have another question. Ashik Gandhi is asking about the permission. Do you need to ask for permission to the subjects in the photography, or you don't ask for permission?
I think it depends of the kind of photography you take. I mean, and the relation and the situation. First, I think that you have to build your own ethic laws. I, for myself, for example, I'm trying not to take photos of people in the street if they are in situations which can be not so nice, for the subject. I will not try to take people in the event. Like I said, the event itself does not interest me. I'm looking about contrast, shape, geometry, something like this. And if I take pictures of somebody, it will be always, if you recognize the person, it will be when the people appears nice. So I'm not asking before, because I'm trying always to take the moment, and I know that if the people knows that I'm taking them in photo, they will put a mask. They will be less natural. So I'm never asking before. So I take the photo, and after you take the photo, something occurs. You smile. I usually smile, and you see that the guy is smiling to you 99% of the time, and say okay, and you say okay, it's okay, and you say okay, it's okay, and you dialogue with the eyes and with the smile, and you go, and you don't need to ask, because the guys saw that you took the pictures after, and it's okay, no problem. And if the guys said, what do you do? So you talk with him, and you say, okay, just I took the pictures because you are nice, you saw him the picture, or her the pictures, or them the pictures, and you ask, it's okay if I do something with this. I'm an artist. I give my card, and usually they say, okay, no problem. It's nice. They like it. And if somebody says no, so I don't publish it. I usually keep it in my computer for me, but I don't publish it. And if the guy asks me, please delete the photo, so I delete it. I respect it. Of course, I respect this. But most of the time, there is no need because the guy knows that I took the photo. And if I take a photo, I don't know, 7 meters from the guy, and you are in a situation that you don't recognize it, so I don't ask, because if you don't recognize the people, there is no need to ask. It's only if you can recognize and identify the person. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. There is another question from Manish. He says that he has a low-end digital camera, and the problem is that it takes quite a long time to adjust the focus. So the moment is lost in
Yeah.
this couple of seconds adjusting the focus. Um, mm, is it necessary, an expensive camera?
No, it's not necessary. I don't think. Well, I have an expensive camera. I have a Leica, but I don't think it's necessary. What I think necessary is to have a camera that you know. It can be expensive or not expensive, but you need to know it. My camera, I have one lens, 28 millimeters. That's all. I don't change lenses. So I have always the same lens. And I know the camera. So I'm going out. I don't take photos automatic. I take photos only manual. Okay. So I'm going out. I'm looking at the sky, at the lights. So I put my the speed is always 125 of the second. It's what I'm using to when I walk the street. And according to the light, I change my ISO, my sensibility, and the diaphragm. I open or I close the diaphragm. Usually in the street, 5.6, something like this. And well, it depends on the light. And the focus is always between 3 to 5 meter. Well, not always. 95% of the time, between 3 to 5 meters, and that's it. So it's the camera is ready to take a photo with the light, me walking the street at my walking speed, 3 5 meters. So I see something, I don't have to do nothing. That click, and it's ready already. So now, if I see something, it's 7 8 meters. I know that I have to change to close the diaphragm if I have enough light, so I have more deep of light of field, or I change a little bit, the focus. I'm at the focus from 3 to 5 to 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 meters. But I know from the experience, my fingers know it. So I do this, clack, 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 I change it and I take it. I don't look and put this and try to focus because it's all. You're right. If you do this, you lose the time. So you have to practice and practice and practice and practice. At the beginning, you will not get the right result, but you will do the right action, which is what matters. And at the end, you will get the right result because of the practice.
Okay, thank you very much. There are more questions. Let's go quickly through them. What's the best lens? Sid Navarro is asking us, what's the best lens for street photography?
I will say anything between 16 and 50, but it depends of your own gusto. How do you say this in English? Your own taste. Yeah, it depends of your own taste, your own style. I found myself during years, I was working with 35, which is easier. Now I'm working with 28. I like it because I have more a wider field. But 16 maybe it's too much. But I would say between 28 and 50. 50 is a little bit sometime closer. So maybe the best is between 28 and 35, let's say, something like this. But you have to choose. There is not one best, The best one is the one you feel good with it. That's it. That's the best one for you.
Okay. And well, there are many questions. I don't know if we have time for all of them. There are many questions related to the technique. For instance, is it better to take pictures far away from the action and using a zoom, or being close to the action in a short range?
Again, it depends what you want to achieve. For me personally, I choose always to be closer. Why? Because at the beginning I was using a zoom or tele lens, 150 to 200, something like this. And I realized that I don't have interaction with the people. It was like not wanted to dare to have interaction. So I took the photo, but I was hiding. So the photography, the act of taking a photo was not an act of courage for me, was not an act where I was evolving my own knowledge of myself. I was not changing with it. I was always hiding behind the lens, the teleobjective. So I choose to the opposite, to go with 35, and now, like I said, 28. So now with the 28, I must be 3 meters, 5 meters from the people. I cannot take a pictures, from more distance. So I must have interaction, and that's something not easy. It is challenging my personality a lot, but it gave me also wonderful gift and wonderful moments in life. So I'm not ready to get it up, to give it up. I'm continuing with this. But
Oh,
again, it's very personal.
okay, thank you. And if you could answer very quickly, just a couple of questions more. Um, First, Anastasia is asking if it's possible to take a wonderful street photograph with a smartphone, or do you need an SLR camera, something very professional?
You have. I don't think it's a question of technology. I don't use smartphone because I'm from the old generation, and I was born before the smartphone. And I enjoy the reflex. But I have some friends who are using smartphone, and they know how to use it in a wonderful way. I don't, so I use a Leica, but I don't see problem. If you control the technology, it's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Ilianitador is asking if this course is intended only for professional photographers, people who know well photography, or it is also oriented for people who is not professional or who does not know photography very well.
It's oriented for one specific category, which is called human beings. That's it.
Okay,
Every human beings can.
so both professionals and non-professionals.
Yes. Because it's not technical. It's not about technique. It's about feeling, intuition, artistic sense, and using the camera like a medium to awake this art and intuition. So it's not just photographers can benefit, and non-photographers can benefit from it.
Okay, thank you. And just one last question. This one,
Always there is another one with you,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. This question comes from LA, and so they woke up quite early in the morning today. Um, can you share with us what changed in you in using doing working as a photographer? Uh, what photography has changed in you in your life and the way of you, the way you are?
The way I use photography, okay, the way I use photography, which is very linked with philosophy, because like Jordi said at the beginning, my work is something I called photosophy, and I'm working about this, about linking philosophy, which is more meaningful, with photography, with or text with image, something. Go to my website and you will see it. But what it changed for me, it's, I would say, first thing, two things, and I talk about this in the lecture. Two things: meaning and happiness. I have a meaning in life. I know why I am waking up, every morning. I know why. I know what I am doing. I know what I want to do with my life. And happiness, I'm happy every moment. not just when I am in the street with the camera, because life has a meaning through photography. Photography is just a mean. And you know what? Will give you a secret. I am using photography because I am lazy, but don't say it to other one. Because my wife, for example, is a painter. So it's much more difficult and takes time to paint something. In photography, I just to click to do like this. So it's just a tool, photography. But what matters is art, beauty, and meaningful.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
well, and let's now talk a little bit about the course. What can you tell us about the course?
Well, the course is 18 video, a full course with four different modules. First module is a very brief history of aesthetic in photography. So we shall have 5 sessions about this. From the beginning of the photography until the end of the 20th century, until today, we can say even. Then we shall have a second module about the principle of metaphysical aesthetic. We shall talk about beauty as concept. We shall talk about the relation between beauty, truth, good, for example, and reality. And we shall have 3 sessions about this. Then we shall have a third module, the practice of this aesthetic applied to photography, 5 modules. How to use photography as a medium to manifest this beauty, this truth, this reality, to unveil the illusion, all what we said more or less in the lecture today. And then we shall give some example of masters of street photography. The same 4 that I said before. We shall have 1 session about Cartier-Bresson from France, 1 about André Kertész from Hungary, 1 about Joseph Koudelka from Czech Republic, and 1 about Elliot Hewitt from the USA. And that's it. And at the end, you shall have to have a little test, not a lot, it's not complex, don't worry, just to upload 1 photo. And I will see in this photo reflect or not these principles of aesthetic beauty, of imagination, of sensibility, etc. And I will not give a note, but it's okay. You passed, you don't pass. Usually you passed, and you will get a diploma. But this Jordi will explain more, I think.
Okay, thank you. Well, the course, Pierre has told us how the course, what's the development of the course, what are the contents. The price of the course, I know it's 90 euros. And remember that the price of the euro and the dollar is very similar, so it's $90, very close to $90. But there is also a gift for a limited time. So if you enroll in the next following 15 days, there is a 15% discount. So the price of the course becomes 77 euros, $77. And to apply for the discount, just remember the promotional code, which is photo15. Photo15 in uppercase letters. Okay, when you buy the course, you just need to introduce this code. We will tell you how to do it in a few moments. Well, maybe we could see a short tutorial on how to buy the course and apply for the discount.
Yes, I think it has to move the.
Yeah.
But it doesn't move. Now self photography is a mean to capture the invisible to the eyes. It seems interesting. I will apply. I can have the discount also if I apply.
Yes, of course.
This is Cartier-Bresson.
Okay.
Here you have
The discount,
77
euros with a 15% discount. And let's see how to apply for this discount and how to buy the course.
That's it. Photo 15.
Photo 15, the code you have to use.
Until November 12th.
Yeah, remember that it's only valid for 15 days, 2 weeks. Okay, so you go to the website, you just need to click to access all content. That will bring you to the end of the web page. And at the end of the web page, you can buy the course. Now we haven't entered the coupon, so it's still 90 euros. You just select, you can add to cart, or sorry, you can press the button comprar ahora. It's not translated to English, it's in Spanish, but this means buy now. So you add to cart or you buy now, and then notice that at the bottom right corner, there's the place to enter the code, photo15. And when you apply, you press the button apply, you see that the discount has been computed 76.50 euros.
It's even less than 77.
Less than 77 euros. So you could have a coffee with the difference. And then finally, you just need to buy. You have to introduce your details, your first name, second name. Your username is going to be your first name dot your last name, or your email, so whatever you prefer. And then the password. This is the password you will need to use to identify yourself, to enter the learning platform, and, well, just accepting and introducing your payment data, accepting the conditions, and you can buy the course. Okay, so it's very easy. You just need to introduce the data and the code to get the discount and to get enrolled to the course. So don't miss the opportunity to join to the course, and if you had not done so before. So notice that this topic that we are launching here in Universitas is a very innovative, and you have the opportunity to know it better, the art, the technique, and the great examples of the great photographers to get inspired. So, Pierre, would you like to tell us anything else before leaving?
No, just enjoy. Do it, don't do it, do it. It's better. But I think that it's, I think that what you shall discover in the course, of course, it's a course of photography, but my goal is to try to bring through photography something which is much more wider than photography. It's not just photography. It's using photography, like I said, to be able to awake the artist in yourself. And you know why? I would say something which is an addition to the question that Jordi asked me before. What did I learn, from photography during the years? It's I said it's a meaning. I said it's happiness. I think that photography is just for me a way to join different parts of myself, my personality, my subjectivity, but something inside that in one way I always knew there was and here, but I didn't know how to reach it. And photography allowed me to reach it, to build a bridge, between the two. And I become a unity, what I call the unity of human beings. And I think that the real happiness in life and stability in life comes with this. So you can use anything else. I use photography. So I can teach it through photography because it is what I know. I will not teach something that I don't know. I know this tool, but the goal is much more than this. So I really think it works. I don't say it for the marketing. I am not selling anything. Jordi is selling it. I'm just enjoying it. It's something else. So I want to enjoy it with you. That's what I want to do. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Pierre. So remember, you can join to this course. You can enroll in the website you see below. Now, in 2 hours, we are going to repeat this presentation. So if you speak Spanish and you want to hear again Pierre Paulin, you can listen to him to a new speech about the topic on how to find the exact moment, the precise moment for
Vamos
taking.
a hablar en castellano. And later, in a few months, I don't know when, but in a few months, it will be also in French, parce que je parle français, and it will be in Hebrew, מפני שאני יכול לדבר עברית. So the same course will be in 4 languages.
Oh, thank you very much. And if you like this presentation, remember that we are going to upload, or we are going to keep this presentation in YouTube, so you can view it again as much as you can, and obviously you can share it with your friends. Thank you very much, Pierre, and thank you very much, everybody, for your attention. And well, we hope we see you in the course, in Pierre's course, about aesthetics in photography. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jordi.
Bye.
And thank you all. And AG.